Um, Hello again, Professor. In this video, I am going to talk to you about the syllabus I decided to create or design, which is on cross-cultural and diversity of meaning. I was talking to a professor who assisted the symposium, and she explained, or she was discussing about the cross-cultural and diversity of meaning, and which is the course that she teaches in the university where she works for. And I didn't have any idea, and I was not clear about this concept. So I decided to study a bit about it. Yeah, it's to get acquainted with the constructs, and I found something very interesting that and I think that this can be fundamental for teaching our students in Colombia, not just to to tell them how to stand or how to participate in conversations with people from all over the world, and some of the basic principles of cross-cultural and diversity interactions, which are, to respect and accept each other's ideas. But I think what we can focus the teaching of cross-cultural and diversity of meaning in our Colombian reality, and with the understanding of our Colombian characteristics, is we have to consider um, how we always, and through history is explained as well, we always have these lower um, status whenever we interact with people from abroad. We have to teach our students that what makes them Colombian, and all their cultural values and beliefs are very important assets that they have to consider, that they have to get out there, but they have to do it in same position of others, or the same position as others. So that was why I decided to start with this syllabus. The description, if I am allowed to read it very quickly. The cross-cultural and diversity course provides a common ground for exploring and expressing concepts which are often culturally rooted, such as values, beliefs, traditions, and linguistic practices. Something that we're going to consider as well for this syllabus is the race, gender identity, socioeconomic class, and religious affiliations. I decided to discuss mainly about these ones because are the ones um, who touch our Colombian teaching practices the most, to my consent. Then, the world has always participated on mass migration and interactions due to a wide set of reasons. Fortunately, this is markedly the first time in history where peoples are granted the possibility to interact socially, economically, and politically, advocating for respect and awareness of cultures, or cultural and contextualized imaginaries of the individual. Um, this is something very important I would like to highlight here as well, is this is the first time, and actually it is the first time in history, where people get to stand on any setting or context, and we actually have the right to call for respect of people's beliefs on and diversity of meaning. So again, this supports the intention, although it's for an exercise in the class, but I would like to consider this and maybe present it as a proposal for my university. So the course aims comprehend an overview of the lean perspective on cross-cultural text, diversity expressions, and intercultural communicative practices, enhance the students' presentation skills on cross-cultural and diversity topics to create well-thought, clear, and concise talks with the raw understanding on topics worked in and outside the classroom, allow students interaction and informed decision making with both syllabus contents and course elements. Um, this over here is brought from the proportional syllabus. I also intend to, with this course, encourage students to conduct a narrative inquiry on cultural or diversity issues concerning their immediate community. And I'm going to explain to you why in a minute. The general objective is to review and analyze the current trends of cultural and diversity of meaning, and make students aware of the current discriminatory, intolerant, and culturally biased happenings worldwide. Um, as I'm already 5 minutes in this talk, and I want to center my talk in two important aspects, maybe three. So I decided to involve some of my students in this. So I created an online survey, which is called Designing Together a Negotiated Syllabus, or a proportional syllabus. And I asked them, the first question was, what topics would you like to learn more about in a cross-cultural and diversity course? Some of them text me on WhatsApp asking what this was, or some others actually had to Google it. So some of the topics that they decided to include here were how to handle with depression or taboos about sex, massacres of people who think differently, teaching practices, gender equality, examples to investigate in indigenous tribes, cultures different from the usual ones, how society discriminates or accepts. So, and these other ones, language and religious beliefs. And in the second question that I asked them was, how would you like to cover in class or outside these proposed topics? To what they answered, cover through discussion and research on the subject, practice, documentaries, exhibitions, research. I'm going to send you a screenshot of the answers, but this is what I wanted to show you why I decided to create this thematic unit. So this is to cover both constructs and important aspects of the syllabus, but also I am considering my students' opinion in here. So in the contents, we are going to have the chance to discuss about cross-cultural and diversity of meaning, literature, a critical stance to cultural and diversity, and I proposed some of these reading materials that I found on a website, which are pretty emphatic on the information and pretty clear, and I'm pretty sure it would grant my students a clear, concise perspective on cultural, cross-cultural diversity of meaning. If you allow me to talk to you about my understanding of meaning, I took this from Paul Gee and the Critical Literacies, which is a term that revisits the concept of reading and interpretation, reinforcing critique, according to which meaning is not in the head, but in social practices, and that in inquiring social practices one gets deep meanings free. Gee, 1997, page 274. So let's have a number of students in a room watching a movie. This movie, it's going to create different meanings based on the different backgrounds of each of these students. If this can happen in a classroom of just Colombian people, just imagine how this could change, how this meaning could be diverse once we have people coming from different cultural backgrounds. So this is the understanding of meaning, what these students can bring to their minds and based on their own interpretations. So this is how I decided to design this syllabus. Implications of thinking differently. The second session is going to be the second topic in sessions 3 and 4 is going to be trending topics and taboos in different cultures. Then we're going to jump on principles of cross-cultural literature and its effects on intercultural communications. And in here, I am including what my students suggested in the survey. So cultural diversity and implications, massacres to people who thought differently, addressing depression, sex and artistic expression. Here, the topic is principles of cross-cultural literature and its effects on intercultural communication. And I think the topic that they suggested about language and religious beliefs fits very well, so I decided to include it here. And also the gender equality in public and private schools. For this matter, I have the attached text, article, and book chapter. So this is, Professor, the syllabus I designed. The methodology, it's guided class discussions, articles, as well as they suggested guest speakers, experts on the class topic, videos and documentaries, community inquiry, and mini research findings presentation. The assessment of learning is the following, and here you will find the bibliography and the links. I'm sorry to speed up through the presentation, but I hope I have got across my intention with this syllabus. I was working in this for the entire week, and probably doesn't seem that like much, but I didn't want to include just a bunch of things or chunks of information that I collected online. I was actually conscious and aware of the importance of creating a syllabus, mainly because I had never done it before, and I think if with a little more work on the issue, I could come up with a good proposal, a very informed proposal that may be or may be considered and may have some positive effects on the students in my university. So thank you very much for everything. If you have any doubts or inquiries, well, I'll be looking forward to receiving them. Thank you very much, Professor.